Hello, and welcome to vlog number 2 of An Englishman in San Diego. Still haven't got that introduction sorted out yet, but I'm sure I'll get it animated. I'm going to do a full animated introduction with a little logo and some text. I'm currently working on that as we speak. Well, it is Monday, the 10th of June. It's 47 days to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I decided to just open up with the date purely because, as I understand it, I not only messed up the date in the actual video of vlog number 1, but also in the annotations that went along the bottom as well, because I'm an idiot. I was nervous. It was my first one, my first vlog. So I kind of rattled through it a little bit. So I do apologise for any mistakes or errors in the annotations or any of the details, which is why this one, vlog number 2, is going to be a little bit awkward, because I'm going to be talking about the online community that supports San Diego Comic-Con, the kind of the network that has grown up around the event, especially in the last 2-3 years, and I'll come back to that. You find me on the M1 today. Don't worry, you haven't tuned into some strange warped version of Top Gear. I'll leave the snide, stuck-up, smart-ass comments to Mr. Jeremy Clarkson. I'm a Tesla fan, so his comments about Tesla and indeed electric cars in general have not been well received by myself. No, the reason why you catch me on the road is because I am driving at the moment to a t-shirt printer in Worksop, which is just outside Sheffield. It's about 45-50 minutes away from where I live, but they have a shop inside the Meadowhall shopping centre, or shopping mall, in Sheffield. The work that I've seen them do is pretty impressive, and the woman, Claire, that I've been speaking to, has talked up quite the deal, and quite the quality and expertise in printing t-shirts. So I'm hoping that they're going to come out okay. The t-shirts are for the San Diego Comic-Con UK Attendees Group, which I mentioned in the first vlog. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to come out. Let me explain again about those t-shirts. Oh, very quickly as well. I know that driving and vlogging isn't exactly the wisest course of action. So while this may be my second vlog, it may also be my last will and testament, in which case I would like to say, Caroline, I love you. You are my rock, you make things better for me just by being around. Mum and Dad, thank you for all your support. I love you too. Carmen Electra, Little Kim, Shirley MacLaine in her 30s. I love you. Neil Patrick Harris, I have always loved you. So that's my last will and testament. That could prove very awkward if I crash. But the reason why I'm driving and doing this now is because I am running a day or so late with posting this vlog. I wanted to try and post them on a Sunday and get that regular, and I know that the key to getting an audience on a vlog is regularity. But I was told that these t-shirts were going to be ready on Saturday, so it was going to be a nice little presentation of the t-shirts. So there's going to be a little bit of an edit halfway through this vlog where I show off the t-shirts, and I'm very proud. I'm proud of the t-shirts and how that's all come about. Like I explained in the first vlog, the UK attendees last year, as our first meetup in 2012, they downloaded the logo, which I will do a quick snapshot here so you can have a look at it. It's nice, isn't it? Basically removing the graphic eye and putting Judge Dredd, which I thought was a nice English comics icon, and I thought that was a nice little nod to the UK attendees. Showed it to the 2000 AD crew that were behind a desk or behind a table at Comic-Con last year. They loved it. That was cool. But what they did, they downloaded it, they put it onto a t-shirt, and like I say, stepping out onto the fire pit at San Diego Hilton gas lamp to see 15-20 people with this logo on the t-shirt. It was quite emotional. So this year, what I wanted to do was have a bit of a uniform look to the t-shirts, have them all printed by the same place, so they all looked kind of like presentable as a single look to the t-shirts. So I've taken it amongst myself to get the t-shirts printed out. This year, because the Judge Dredd logo is kind of like the year in, year out logo of the San Diego UK Attendees Group, I wanted to do something a bit special and do something like a year-on-year thing. And I also volunteer at Thought Bubble, which is the Leeds Sequential Art Festival, which is held at the Royal Armouries in Leeds. It's a British Comic-Con, very much geared towards the artist, the writer, and the publishers of comics. So it's not pop culture, it's purely about the comic books. So there's plenty of artists there. And I managed to talk to a number of the artists and network while I was volunteering. And I also managed to get hold of the details of one of the artists of 2000 AD, who's Lee Gallagher, who has drawn for 2000 AD. He's drawn Judge Dredd, he's drawn a number of their characters. And I emailed him and I said, is there any possibility that you could do a headshot of a character which we had whittled down out of 5 iconic British characters, not necessarily British created, but certainly have an element of Britishness about them. Or so, for example, we had Death, so obviously created and made very much famous by Neil Gaiman's run in Sandman. We had Captain Britain. We had, who else did we have this year? We had about 4 or 5, but we also had a front and centre front runner for this year's nominated character, and it was John Constantine. So I contacted Lee and said, is there any possibility you could do a headshot, ink work for us? And he absolutely delivered. I've got the original at home. It's no idea what I'm going to do to it. I was actually thinking about raffling it off to the UK attendees at San Diego, and then Caroline turned around and said, you fool, keep hold of it, frame it. That's your... So I don't know, I'm trying to decide whether to be incredibly selfish about that. However, I have got this Lee Gallagher, John Constantine headshot, and it works brilliantly inside the logo. In fact, I will show you what it looks like now. I know! It looks fantastic! So if you do see that kicking around San Diego on a t-shirt, hug that person. It's a Brit, and they will love you for it. Don't hug them too much, because more than likely they're sunburnt and struggling in the heat, but hug them anyway, because they're friendly and they're lovely. And they'll be friends of mine. So hopefully, I'm going to do a bit of another cut halfway through this towards the end and show you what the t-shirts look like. T-shirts and hoodies, so that was good. The UK Attendees Group was my first foray into networking when it came to Comic-Con. I didn't actually do much in terms of researching Comic-Con beforehand. I'd kind of been on the Facebook group before, but I hadn't gone all out and looked out at other blogs. Purely because the ones that had been out there were still finding their feet, I felt. There was one or two which are very much established, and I'm going to come back to those. But I felt for myself that the whole thing was still coming together as an online community, and people were still finding their feet. So much so that I think a number of others felt the same. And I'd say from about the first year I went out, in 2010, that online community has grown and grown, because it's very much felt that Comic-Con is very much a closed community when it comes to putting the thing on. More a case of they will I'm trying to word this diplomatically and also try and word it accurately, because since I've gotten involved in the online community, I've actually made some friends within the CCI organisation, so I want to make sure I word myself correctly. It's very much felt that they've put the con on. They've put the con on that they want to put on. They will take feedback, but they're not going to answer to the fans so much, because the moment you start doing that, you have to please everybody. And when you have 130 to 150,000 people descending on your convention, that's a lot of people to try and keep happy, and it doesn't quite work. So I can understand it's more a case of we're going to put the con on that we put on, and you work things out. You discuss amongst yourselves. Yes, you can come and talk to us. It was very much evidenced to me at the Talkback panel last year, which was the first one I attended. The last panel upstairs on the Sunday, and it really was a case of a lot of people coming to the room and queuing up and saying, I'm a massive fan of San Diego Comic-Con, I've been coming for years, but ... endless queue of people with issues and axes to grind. And John Peters, who sat at the dais, I noticed it was very much a case of sitting there with a pen and paper and saying, thank you very much indeed for your comment. Next. It was a talk back. It wasn't a talk around. It wasn't a round table. So it was very much a case of very much a one-way conversation when it comes to the con and the fans, because I think that the CCI very much want there not so much to be a communication, because it shouldn't be about a communication between CCI and the fans. It should be about the creators and the fans, and the exhibitors and the fans. And they kind of, it feels like they want to just take a back seat to it all, kind of. This year has been a little bit different, because in 2013, the website has launched the Toucan blogs, which I link a lot to on the Google Plus community, because I think it's not only a fantastic resource and a brilliant series of blogs. The interviews, Mark Wade has been particularly brilliant, the first one they did, and the interviews they've been running have been fantastic, very high quality. The blogs by the Toucan teams have been stunning. Very big fan of those. Maggie Thompson's have been a brilliant insight from someone who knows her conventions and has been there pretty much from the start. So I'm a big fan of the Toucan blogs, very much so. It's opening up a dialogue for CCI to the fans. However, the main dialogue and the main conversations and communications that happen about Comic-Con, which sounds a little meta, to just discuss this convention rather than the content that's put on. It's almost, it's looking at the way that the con's being put on. it has exploded and certainly come of age, I feel, in the last 12 months to a year. So I'm going to rattle off a bunch which I feel are massive supporters and a great resource for San Diego Comic-Con. These are in no way any preferential order. I want that to be perfectly clear. These are kind of off the top of my head, but they are in no way preferential order. These are just a number of people that I feel may be worthwhile checking out, especially if you're wanting to find out more about the con, stay up to date with what is happening in Comic-Con world. Considering we've got 4 and a bit weeks to go, nice to, especially if it's the first time or first timer. Best to be forewarned and forearmed and read up on what's available and what's going to be happening. So, where do we start? I think we'll start with the San Diego Unofficial Comic-Con blog. Now, I'm going to say Jeremy Rutz is certainly the main voice of that particular blog, purely because he also hosts the audio blog that goes up. But I know that there's a whole host of people that's behind that particular blog. The San Diego Unofficial Comic-Con blog is a great resource because it's very much from the top of the stream. You get everything. Admittedly, there are 1 or 2 times when they've posted things literally the second they've got the word, or they've heard something on the grapevine, and they've thrown it out there and maybe had to recant themselves or find out that perhaps they've not quite got the full skinny on it. But it's great because you end up getting it from the source. It's from the top of the mountain. It's everything that's coming down the pipe, and you also kind of owe it to yourself to filter out some of the fact from fiction. Their hit rate is incredible, however, so they definitely managed to get a big picture of what is happening with Comic-Con. So the San Diego Unofficial Comic-Con blog is definitely a major resource. Crazy for Comic-Con, hosted by Tony Kim. He was probably one of the first people that I started communicating with. I haven't communicated as much with him in recent months, purely because of the amount of people that I try and keep in contact with in the online community. But Tony's enthusiasm and almost precision for detail, that he absolutely wants to be the default or the go-to guy when it comes to Comic-Con. He really makes a great effort, and his enthusiasm is infectious. He's a great resource to follow, and I can imagine a really fun guy to talk to. I really am. I'm looking forward to actually meeting the guy in person. I think he'd be a good guy to talk to. Who else have we got? I am going to talk about the nerdy girly, who is Megan Gotch. Megan Gotch, the name enunciated correctly. Megan has been actually a big supporter of the Google Plus community from its inception. So I've been very grateful to her for her posts. She very much takes it from the perception of a fan. She goes not so much to analyze or to over-criticize. She goes as a fan. And reading her blog and reading her page, I get a smile every time I do it, because she just absolutely, she can't wait to go, and you can feel it. It's a great read. So, thenerdygirly.com. I'm putting all these, should be having links at the bottom. They are going to be there, right? So, yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to be putting the annotations up. Who else have we got? Let's think. I was going to leave this one to last, unless I can think of who I'm trying to think of. When Nerds Attack, Barbara, another female-led Comic-Con blog. Barbara is, and Barbara's team, because all of these blogs, by the way, are team-based. I know that I'm mentioning individuals that have started them off or are running them, but no, they're very much a team-based. It's very much people coming together, which is what I love about the online community. When Nerds Attack is another, very much I put as a sister blog to Crazy for Comic-Con, in that they are very much wanting to make sure they get absolute confirmation and absolute facts. It seems very much a case of there's no speculation as such. It's very much a case of we'll post it when we get it right. And Barbara is a great resource, and I think someone to follow if you absolutely certainly want to get all the stones out of the water and see it from the very end, from the pure the end source, and get it all the details correct for your con trip. And last and certainly not least is the Friends of CCI forum. I'm going to put the link up, but you can pretty much Google it. The Friends of CCI forum is a brilliant Wikipedia of Comic-Con. My term, certainly not theirs, but because of the amount of people that go on there, ask the questions, some fantastic mods, of which I am one. Don't read too much into that. I'll explain why in a second. Because of the amount of people that go on to Friends of CCI and ask as many questions as they can, it really does seem, and with the information archives that they posted on there of previous years, it really does seem like it has become the Wikipedia of Comic-Con. You go on there, you hit search, and you're going to find your answer, because it is absolutely analysed and done with great respect, and it's a brilliant. That's for me the first stop, which is why I got asked to become a mod, because I was on there pretty regular. Don't post as often as some, and there are one or two that post quite a lot, not necessarily all contributive, which means I'm making up words now, but they are there to add some spice and colour, so I personally like having them along. But I go on to the forum purely as a resource, as the like I say, the Wikipedia. And I got asked if I could be a mod, if I could hang around certainly the discussion pages, one or two of the panel pages, as a kind of someone to put out fires if anyone started getting a bit rowdy and boisterous. And I haven't found that. I haven't seen it. And I haven't seen it on many of the posts, forums, pages. In fact, the only area, an element of Comic-Con where it seems like there's some arguments. Excuse me, this is where we're now pulling off to workshop, so a bit of an abrupt stop there, I do apologise. Is the collectibles and exclusives element and area of Comic-Con. My word, they're rowdy. And there's always a couple of trolls, and there's always a couple of people wanting to say that they know their onions and exert themselves, and there seems to be a very boisterous element to the whole exclusives and collectibles community. But thankfully there are one or two people that will slap down any offenders. I'm looking at Khan and I'm looking at Alyssa. They will They will make sure that there's no bad manners going off on that particular forum. So no, I find that there's no, it's all very happy campers. And that's also something that leads back to what I said in my first vlog, the sense of community and family, that everyone does try and look out for each other. Even on the Comic-Con Facebook page, every once in a while we do get a little bit tired of the same questions. We get a little bit bored of having to give the same answers, especially if the answer has also been answered like 4 posts down. But to the large extent, we're there to help. But that's what the online community has been really encouraging, because as you can see from the equipment behind me, I work as a DJ, and if there's one community which I really am not a fan of being of, it's the DJ community, because they are quite the backbiters and quite the snipey commenters, which is why I enjoy going to Comic-Con so much, because it gets me away from all the politics. When it comes to DJing, I just go and play the tracks. I don't necessarily talk to other DJs too much, purely because, yeah, the support system isn't exactly there. But for Comic-Con, there is. So yes, those are all the ones off the top of my head, the forums and blogs that I would recommend, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. I am going to list all of these, by the way, at the bottom of the in the description part of this video, and also add a couple of others as well, which no doubt I will have forgotten somebody, and to those people I apologize, and I may follow up with another blog with some of the other friends that are out there that help out. For example, I'm very tempted to do a Twitter list, because there's a whole host of people on Twitter who are a fantastic collection of helpful posters. Sean Marshall, I'm pointing and looking at you at the confluence. But I will do I think I'll do a Twitter one a little bit later. I might even do a midweek very quick one, because I notice I'm up to 27 minutes. So I'm going to keep this under half an hour. So yes, tell you what, I'm going to stop there for a second. I'm going to go and pick up these t-shirts, and I'll see you on the other side of this edit, where you can have a look at my handiwork for 2013. I can't wait! But of course, there's one more thing. Yes, it's Bellycam week number 2. Yes. Well, I've been on the salads and I'm on the cereals, and I'm doing my best to lose some weight. Just in time for Comic-Con. But you can't just do it by diet alone, of course.
Good. Make them your best. And 2. And 1. So if you like those words,
Not a word.
start another variation of our basic crunch workout. We'll take the toes, lift them up,